I would like to congratulate the Latino Alumni Association for their 40 years of tremendous service. Many organizations provide scholarships to students at USC, but very few can say they have been changing lives for more than 4 decades.
A couple of things that people should know is that I had committed to USC to do 2 years in running what they call the liaison officer between USC and the Spanish-speaking communities. So as I started to do my job, I immediately started running to young people, and it was the same story over and over again. Oh, Mr. Vargas, you know, I really wanted to go to USC, but my family couldn't afford it. And I didn't think that was right.
When they first got married and my dad brought my mom over to the States, they would go to soccer games at the Coliseum. So on the way to the game and on the way back from the game, they had to walk through campus. And my mom very innocently asked my dad, you know, what is this place? And he told her it's a school. And she says, oh, it must be a school for rich kids. And my dad said, maybe, but our kids are gonna come to this school.
In 1972, we came up with the idea of maybe calling our own community to provide some of the resources.
Around that period of time, there were a group of individuals, myself included, my brother Ed Zapanta, my cousin Al Zapanta, alumni of USC who also realized that there was a lack of Mexican-American representation at USC. And we obviously knew one of the obstacles was finances.
I was a student at the time, and we could see right away that in our society, the great equalizer is education, and that we needed to put together a group of individuals that were going to do something about that.
So the MAAA was founded in 1973 with 8 members. And it was through their great generosity that we were able to start developing monies for scholarships.
Well, I think it was the thoughts, the dreams, the desires of all those people that were all put together. They all just said, let's do something for our young people.
So internally, there was some resistance to the idea of forming this organization. But it was the president's office that finally put a stamp on us to say, go ahead and try it.
President Hubbard was the president of the university. He made a challenge to us. He says, fine, you have a fundraiser and we'll match you 2 to 1.
I said, well, Dr. Hubbard, what if an alum gives me $500? He said, I have to give you $1,000. I said, Dr. Hubbard, there's got to be a limit. He said, well, there is. Raul, your ability.
So from those beginnings, we had our first scholarship fundraiser. I think it was in 1974.
And to our surprise, we filled up town and gown, and it was very successful.
But we knew he wouldn't do 2 to 1 for 2 more years, so we were willing to offer a 1 to 1 match. But we were shocked when we walked into his office and Dr. Hubbard says, last year you raised $16,000. This year you're over 25. I'm going to assume, he said, that matching is catching your community's attention. So if it's okay with you, he says, we're going to do this indefinitely. And to this day, they still have the 2 to 1 matching.
USC has always held a special place in my heart. There are many organizations that will get you into college, but there are very few that will keep you in college.
The mission and the goals of this organization have never changed.
To assist Latinos financially. What has evolved is that now we also provide them with other very, very needed services, such as tutoring, leadership training, mentorship, exposure to role models.
In my little world in Santa Ana, California, I didn't come in contact with too many lawyers and doctors that were like me, that looked like me. It showed me how to dream. It showed me that it's possible.
They really are an integral part of this university. They don't just work with Latino students, they work with the entire student body and the entire campus to make this a better place.
Working at SC has been such a joy for me. I've gone to work for 2 great directors, our founding director, Raul Vargas, and now with Dominica Lynch. You know, she's just been such a great role model for me because I saw her as a student and now we're colleagues.
One of the most defining moments for me was coming to USC to drop off my application for admission and for the MAAA scholarship. At the time, I was 20 years old. I had a 2-year-old, and Mr. Vargas's office, you had to go through stairs. So I climbed all these stairs, and with the stroller and the baby and the backpack, by the time I made it to the top, I was so winded, and the baby's barely hanging out from my hip. And he opened the door, and he was this just jolly person. He smiled, and he had this great beard and this great kind eyes. He looked at me, and he said, "Mija, why didn't you take the elevator? There's an elevator?" And he walked me to his office, and he was very kind, and he definitely gave me hope that someone like me could attend USC.
What scholarships can help to do is they can help to make someone realize that a particular institution is possible. So for me, anytime I hear that any group or organization wants to raise money to help make college possible, I'm right there. I want to see how I can help.
USC is the model Latino Alumni Association for the country, because it really is, it's one of a kind and exemplary, and other campuses want to have what we have here at USC.
Every one of these dinners is unique, and you walk out with a smile on your face saying, I want to be a part of this.
Just every time I'm proud every time I go to one of those dinners and I see one of the students who receives their award and hear their story, but just to watch them speaking was amazing.
Mamá y papá, se pueden poner de pie, por favor. Les quiero dar gracias por todos los sacrificios que han hecho. Tonight, this award belongs to you.
It's that connection, the transfer of one generation to the next, that to me has always been like the most beautiful moment at these dinners.
I won't ever forget, that dinner that we had and the, award being handed over to me. My mom still has possession of it because at that dinner I handed it over to her.
In fact, in our parents' home, all 11 of our degrees, 6 of them, which are from USC, they hang in their living room. It was our work, but it was their support and the support of the LAA. So walking up on that stage, graduating, and knowing this is for them.
When you are in Alumni Park and they're playing Pop and Circumstance, it was a proud moment. And I remember well the person who spoke. The message certainly was that in 40 years, if things hadn't changed, it was our fault. That the problems of the day of the 1978, that was their fault. But if things hadn't changed, it was our fault because we would be in those positions to bring about change. That stuck with me all through my career.
It was so symbolic that going up those stairs would change my life, and would change the life of my 2-year-old, who's now 21 years old, a junior at USC, and that I would become the next director. I know for our students, just as much as it's so difficult to get up those stairs, that it is my job to guide them, that there's an easier way, and I've been very moved to do all I can to bring programs to them by connecting them to alumni so that they have access to that elevator to success.
You can say that we need to find a way to break the poverty cycle. Well, I think that this is probably the best way to break that cycle, and not only break it, but to create a cycle of education, a cycle of Latinos graduating from college.
It's so important, given the large presence of Hispanic Americans in the United States today. I think it's very important that we not only maintain this relationship as a university, but we also expand it.
I'm so blessed that so many that were very faithful to Mr. Vargas and supportive of his efforts have stayed to continue guiding me.
Looking back at Raul's invitation 39 years ago, it was the most honored association in my lifetime.
I think in today's time, the need is even greater than in 1974. We're proud that 65% of the students are first-generation students. I think the name change has made our organization more inclusive. I expect us in the next 40 years to have a national footprint and an international footprint
My hope is that in 40 years we look back at these videos and say, we did it. You know, we continue to grow and take that torch that was given to us by these great people and build upon it.
We're really proud of the work the Latino Alumni Association has done for the last 4 decades. And now that we're working in lockstep, we're working together with the LAA. We couldn't be more excited about the partnership, about the leadership of the Latino alumni, and also the staff leadership with Dominica and her team. It's certainly a win-win for the University of Southern California, the Trojan family, and our Latino alumni community.